Alright, y'all, we are back. Sorry about that. Like I said in the beginning, you never know what kind of crazy is going to ensue. We were on the bonus card, I believe is where we were when we left off, but I'm going to backstep a minute. We were talking about color combinations here when we were doing this card, and while I was away, I went ahead and grabbed the Color Coach. Now, this Color Coach is all of our current Stampin' Up! Colors, and it shows you what colors coordinate with each other, so it just, it kind of helps you out who's going, who matches who doesn't match who, that kind of thing. It has all the currents plus the in color, so if this is something you guys would be interested in, let me know. I can post the PDF file on the Facebook page or on Instagram, or I can private message it to you, email it to you, whatever the case may be, but I can definitely get you the PDF file for this. It does come, I think it's 6 per page on an 8.5 by 11, regular PDF page. I do believe it's 6 colors per page. I just cut mine down and laminated them because I use it so much. So, but let me know if you guys want one of those and I will definitely get it to you. Okay, back to the card. Here we are. We're doing, and I still didn't grab the measurements. Silly me. So as I was saying, you're going to use the Crumb Cake Early Espresso, Very Vanilla, and I think that's it. Yeah, and then we're going to use, once again, we're only going to use, here we go, the Early Espresso ink pad here. For our ink color, we'll only be using that. Nope, I am incorrect. I stand corrected. We'll also be using the, whoops, get back up there, the Crumb Cake ink pad as well, and then we're going to use Stampin' Write markers. And to do this little section here, right here, you see where I stamped those, we're going to break out the watercolor pencils, which I have upside down and backwards. That's extremely helpful. We have the 2 assortment packs, and we're going to use the Knighted Navy and the watercolor pencil assortment 2, and then we're going to use the Black Early Espresso Rich Razzleberry and Olive Green out of the assortment 1. I was trying to get it so it was only out of the assortment 2, but you can't make Pacific Point look anything like Knighted Navy, so we're going to have to unfortunately use both. But we love those pencils. They're handy. They're wonderful. And then we're also going to use the blending pen on here. And this just gives your colored pencils, instead of having all the little lines and making it look rough, this will blend them together so it looks smoother and a little bit nicer, if that's what you're really wanting. Or you can just leave it so it's colored. Makes it look like it's colored. It's fine. And then we're also going to use Stampin' Dimensionals. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to use the mini Stampin' Cut embossing machine, which is really fun. So again, this one is not simple stamping. This is a more complex, more complicated card, but it's not hard. It's actually fairly easy. It just has more parts and pieces to it. So let's get started. First thing we're gonna do is organize our papers a little bit better here. And we want the larger of the 2 Very Vanillas. I really wish I would have written down or grabbed the measurements here for these 2 cards here. And you can see that the one is just a hair smaller than the other one. I guess, duh, ding dong, you've got this right here. How about 5 1/4 by 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. And then you have, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 1/8 by, I'm gonna say this is probably 4 3/8 or 5 3/8. So we're gonna want the 5 3/8 piece. I really hope that made sense because it was a lot of words. But the bigger Very Vanilla is the piece we're gonna start off with. And then we're gonna want the words coffee, well, all of them. Coffee, cocktails, chocolate, and cookies. We're gonna need them all. And we are gonna line these up just like we did before. But we want to kind of get them altered. You don't need to keep them, straight or perfect, or our goal isn't to get them aligned. You just kind of want to have them so they're somewhat lined up in no specific order. It really doesn't matter. As I sit here and try to figure it out, it's like a little puzzle. Because we're going to stamp all of this. You know what? That's not big enough. My block's not big enough. Silly me. So we'll do it a different way. We'll improvise. Maybe that will fit on my block. If not, I'll switch over to a bigger block. Let's try that. Nope. Okay. So we reach over here and we grab the bigger blocks. We have multiple different sizes, multiple different shapes. You can buy a fancy little case to put it all in. We're gonna go with, we'll go with block I for this one. I think I should have looked at that again. I should have looked at that beforehand, but didn't. So it is what it is. We're gonna take that one out. I'm also gonna take the smaller B block out and the A block, since I have them handy. We'll just go ahead and pull them out because we're gonna put the little star on that one. It'll make life a lot easier. So let's reorganize these one more time, the way I was doing it the first time, I think. So you just kind of want to put them, you want to offset them because of the way we're going to stamp them. I think that looks good. And then we're going to pick them all up at the same time again, just like we did before. And again, you could do this on your Stamparatus. That's not a big deal. If you chose to, you really could. And then we're going to take our crumb cake. Yep. It's a little squeaky. That one's kind of new still. I need to oil it up a little bit, I think. And then we're going to get these all stamped up. And I'm going to go ahead and do a test run because I don't remember if I want to do it so it's darker or if I want to do it a little lighter. I think we're going to go with a little lighter. So we're going to stamp off and then we're going to stamp on our sheet. And what we're going to do is I'm going to turn this at an angle. And we are going to stamp off. And then we're going to start in the middle. I always start in the middle because it's a little easier to work your way out. And I want to angle this just like that. Stamp off and line it up. So you're going to corner there. You can see how I've gone from edge to edge here and here with the words coming off. Now we're going to fill in here the top and the bottom half doing the same method. And it's okay if you forget to stamp off and you accidentally end up with a darker one. It just adds a little dimension. And we're going to be covering most of it up. I know the first time I made this card, I did that like 5 times throughout it and could not believe that I actually did it. But we make mistakes too. It happens. It's just part of life. And we're got, I think, probably 2 more to go here. And this just adds, basically you're creating your own background and texture paper that is specific to the stamp set. And that's that. So we're going to leave that, and you can see how it's angled. So it makes it a little different, gives it a little different look. Now we're going to clean that up. We're going to set that aside because we are actually done with that until we're ready to assemble. I'm going to clean these letters off, or words off. Words are hard. I really think they need to have a stamp that says words are hard. That is my definite opinion here. And we're going to use the There is the little, here we go. The little itty bitty square vanilla, which is, should be, looks like 2 1/8 by 2 1/8. If I'm reading that right. Yep, 2 1/8 by 2 1/8. So we're gonna want that one, and we're going to stamp all 4 of our outlines. Not the insides, just the outlines of the cocktail, the coffee cup, the chocolate, and the cookie, if I can find him. Here he is. We're gonna stamp each one, and we're gonna go in corners. You can see here in the first one that I did, where I have, you know, the chocolate, the cookie, the tea, the coffee cup, and the cocktail glass. So that's what we're gonna do here. Really fast. I think really fast. I say really fast, but then really fast never actually happens. What are the chances? Yay. And since I have multiple blocks out, we're just gonna kind of run with it here. So I'll have to use him again. And we're gonna do that again. We're gonna ink up with the crumb cake, stamp off, because you want these to be kind of light. Now we're gonna go in the corner here, kind of at an angle, like that. With him, and we'll do the chocolate. You're gonna stamp off. Do the chocolate in the corners. It doesn't matter how you do it, just, well, I put that totally on upside down. That would have made for an interesting coffee cup. And we do have reversibles, but this set is definitely not a reversible. And we're gonna do the coffee mug right there, I think. And then last, we will do the cookie. And cookies are fun. And then we're gonna color these guys in. And we're actually gonna use our watercolor pencils to color these in instead of the stamps, because we want the colors to be lighter, not nearly as dominant as they are when we stamp the insides. So get our cookie in here, and then we'll get them all colored in. And we're doing these light because we're gonna stamp over all these decorations here. But we're gonna use the darker early espresso for that. Clean these off real quick. We will be needing them again. You know, I said we were gonna put the star on this little block. I'm not even using the star. Oh well. It was a nice thought. So we're gonna get our colors out. They're colored pencils. I already pulled them out, so I don't have to sit here and dig through and try to find the colors, because you guys really don't want to watch me do that. And we're gonna color them in. You can color them how you choose with whatever colors you like. I'm just gonna kind of keep it pretty basic. Gonna go a light brown, the early espresso watercolor pencil for the chocolates. And I'm trying to keep it light. Or you could do it darker, because chocolate, I mean, chocolate can be dark. In fact, let's do that. Let's make it a little darker. We'll make these side two a little darker. How about that? And the nice thing with the watercolor pencils is you can blend them. That's the other thing you can do. We're gonna do this one too, I think. So to make the chocolate a little bit darker, to make it a little different, well, we're gonna take the basic black and just kind of lightly make our own dark chocolate, so to speak. Color that one in. All right, and then we're gonna move on to the cookie. And I'm just gonna, again with the early espresso, I'm just gonna make him a light golden brown, because that's how cookies are supposed to be when they come out of the oven. It's just a light golden brown. And again, keeping the colors a little bit lighter, because we're gonna stamp over them here in a few minutes. And then we're going to do the coffee cup in Old Olive. Again, once again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, and I know I am, so I apologize, but it's Old Olive, really light. And it's real gentle because we're actually going to go back and go over these, the colored pencils with, there's a fly, with the blending marker. Let's do the lime real quick with the Old Olive as well, so that way we don't have to pull out multiple colors. Try to do the rind a little bit lighter. And then we're gonna do the rich raspberry. I'm gonna go ahead and do the top half of him there. And then we'll bring in the blue, the Nighted Navy, and do the bottom half. Kind of blend it in there in the middle. And we got a cocktail mix again, just like we did when we were inking them with the markers, which we're gonna do that technique again when we stamp our tequila, sheesh man, our cocktail glass to cut out. We're going to use that technique once again. So with the umbrella, red and blue alternate, the rich raspberry and Night of Navy, I should say. So that's done. And now we're going to switch over to the blending pen. So with a blender pen, you kind of want to be careful because you can, again, blend colors really well. I mean, it's a blender pen for a reason. So we're going to start with, I think we're going to go with the chocolates because there's a lot of chocolate. And you just kind of gently go over it. And you see how it's smoothing it out there. So it doesn't, all my little my little scribble marks are actually going to not be present in there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you can see the difference, how smooth that is compared to that one. And then we're gonna come over here and just do this chocolate one. Do the chocolates real quick. It won't take long, and it doesn't. These are real quick. You just kind of, there's really no detail, no nothing. You just kind of go over it really fast. So it's, try to make that a little darker. And then it's because I'm going to be switching colors. I've done the brown. I'm going to jump over here to green. I'm going to go over here to my scratch, and I'm just going to clean it off and start it again. So I have a clean tip, and we'll blend in that green real quick. And come down here and do the lime. I'm going to do the lighter color first, so I don't bring in too much color into the the flesh part of the lime, for lack of better explanation. All right, now we're gonna do we're gonna call this Kool-Aid. We're not gonna call it cocktail this time. We're gonna call it Kool-Aid. I don't know why. And we're gonna bring that up, and you can see where it blends it in the middle right there. Kind of makes it a purpley, which is fun. Wipe it off, and then come up here and do the red, or the pink, the rich raspberry, whichever you want to call it. The Nighted Navy, and that is done. Quick, simple, easy way to just kind of smooth out your colors. And now we're gonna find our, because adulting is hard, maybe. There it is. It likes to hide on me. I'm not sure why it's hiding on me, but it is. And we're gonna line it up. Try to make it a little straight, if you can. And then we're gonna take our early espresso ink. Move you guys out of the way. And we're gonna stamp our sentiment that because adulting is hard right in the middle of everything. And hopefully this is straight. Yeah, so just like that. And then that piece is also done. So we'll set it over here with our first one that we did with the cocktails, cookies, chocolate, and coffee. We'll clean off our saying here because we are done with this. Like I said, it's not so much that this is hard. It's just there's a whole lot of moving parts and pieces to it. Just little things that you gotta do to get it so it's the way you want it. We're gonna be cutting things out here shortly. actually. Now we want our scratch pieces of the Very Vanilla. And we're going to stamp each one of our outlines again in Early Espresso ink on our little scratch pieces here. And when I say scratch pieces, you just want them big enough to, like, each individual one will fit on there, or one that, you know, multiples will fit on but are able to cut out. And no, we're not gonna fussy cut them out because no, nobody has time for that. We are gonna actually cut them out. I don't know how I want to do this. With the dies, the coordinating dies. I believe it's called, whoops, done with that one. What is it called? I just drew a blank. I think I love you more than, which is kind of cute. I like that, the phrasing of it. I just love you more than coffee. I love you more than cookies. I love you more than cocktails. It's just clever. And then our cookie. And then I gotta clean one of these off because I ran out of block. And we need, the last one is chocolate. And we are gonna use the insides for this to fill them in, and we're gonna do that before we cut them out. That'll just make things a whole lot easier. But before we do that, originally when I did this card, I did not stamp anything on the inside. But I think we're gonna take the chocolate and we're gonna just add some here in the corner. Like that. And then maybe, I don't know, let's go with a cookie. Why not? Chocolate and cookie, it's always usually the safe route. We'll do a cookie over here. And then I'm just gonna plan on now just leaving that blank. I'm not gonna try to add any phrases in it because, I mean, adulting is hard. There's really not much more you can say to that to top that off. So we're gonna set that aside also. So we'll call it done. And then I need to clean off the blocks real quick. And then we're gonna get out the insides. And for the, well, that was really dumb. I don't know why I just did that. For the insides of these, we're gonna use, like I said, the coordinating stamps to do the inside to make it kind of quick. We'll go ahead and use the Early Espresso, I don't know where that goes, ink for when stamped off for the chocolate and the cookie. And then we'll do Old Olive for the, I'm missing one, Old Olive for the teacup, or coffee cup. And we will use, I don't remember what colors. We are going to use Mary Marlowe, Night of Navy, and Mossy Meadow to do the cocktail glass. And these, all three of these markers are found in the neutral pack. So again, I was trying to make everything simple for you guys, so it was all kind of right there together. So let's go ahead and do the chocolate, the cookie, and the chocolates real fast. We'll just get them out of the way because they're the same color that we already have out. So we're gonna stamp off on that one. And in the middle, set him aside. And then the cookie, I think, I'm gonna try something here. We'll go 2 to make it a little lighter. So let's do that. And you could also use the crumb cake if you wanted to, or even soft suede would work for a lighter cookie color. But I like the double stamped off for that. I just think it's kind of neat. It's a neat little color to have for a cookie. And especially since it's toned, and I have absolutely no idea how I did that. So I can't explain because I don't know. I didn't get a coverage correct or something. I don't know. It happens. But it's cool. We like happy accidents. Okay, Old Olive ink. I forgot I needed that color. All right, what add it out? and I can't get it open. There we go. We have success. Yay. You can tell which colors I don't use very often because they're really hard to open. I'm gonna stamp off. Actually, we're gonna stamp that off anyway and go lighter because I kind of like it lighter. Yeah, I like that. So there's that. And now we have the cocktail glass left. Or no, I was calling it a Kool-Aid glass. That's what it was. Kool-Aid. Because it's a little safer than walking around saying cocktail. Who are we kidding? We're all adults. We can call it a cocktail. Cocktails are much more fun with than Kool-Aid, in my personal opinion. Now we need the cocktail glass. I'm going to use the smaller block. And then again, just like before with the last card, we'll go pink, well, purple, or, well, Mary Marlowe. Down the top half, we'll bring Night of Navy up from the bottom. So this one's going to be darker than the first one we did. The first one we did was real bright and colorful and all that. This is more subtle, more tonal, more quiet, I guess you could say. And then the last one, and we're going to stamp that on there just like that. It's a little off, but again, that's okay. Maybe my bottom's a little thicker on that glass. We're gonna color in the rainbow. Yep. The umbrella. I guess umbrellas can be in rainbow colors, can't they? I must have rainbow on the brain. I don't know. It happens. Or to, you know, as my daughter is always reminding me, it is what it is. That is her favorite phrase. And I think we'll just steal it today. Because why not? Now the line. Oh, that's really dark. Well, we have a really dark line, but that's okay. We're rolling with it. And that is that. Now comes the fun part. Close up the ink. Set these aside. Now we're going to crack out the Big Shot. Well, Big Shot. We used to call them Big Shots. Here, what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, they had the Big Shot. Stampin' Up! Did, and then they came out with a new line, which is the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So it's, you know, kind of a transition that we are all having trouble with. Or at least I'm having name trouble with. But this is the mini. As I showed you before, it's tiny. The width is 3 inches, so you can't do anything more than that. We do have a bigger one for, you know, the bigger embossing folders and that. And I think it's 6 inches wide that you can do. But you snap these little babies down so you can see where each side for convenience of storage. And we're gonna need plate number 1 and 2 plate number 2s to cut these dies out. And then we're going to, now this is just something I do. Oh, get that out of my way. When I'm getting ready to do something like this, I like to set it on top of my base here. I like to set my plates on top of this because then that way I don't have to try to transfer it from here to here without messing up where my dies are, because I'm going to try to line these up. I'm gonna do my dies here, and I don't want to mess that up. So instead of jarring it and having to redo it and rearrange it, I just always put it on there. You can also use washi tape to hold them on. I know a lot of people that do that. And then some people use Post-it notes to also hold them on. So really it's just a matter of what you want to use them on there. I'm, however, today gonna kind of trust the machine and trust gravity to keep everything where we want. So they'll love you more than dies. These are fabulous because you've got all the words. That's actually how I did the card that says chocolate. I used the chocolate die to cut that out. We're going to need the coffee cup, the cocktail, the chocolate, and the cookie. And I believe this one actually says love you more than. So you could cut that out, cut those words out and put them on there because we don't have a stamp for that. But there is the die. And they do coordinate. These are, you can find this die set in the back of the book with the dies, and then of course the Nothing Better Than is in the annual catalog as well. So let's line these babies up the best we can. Again, just like with anything else, if it's a little off, it's a little off, it's fine. Nothing's gonna be perfect. Nothing ever is. And we don't expect perfection. It took me a long time to learn that everything doesn't have to be just so. It's okay to have it a little off. And we're gonna take our second, number 2, and make a little sandwich, as we call it. And then I stagger them just a little bit to make it easier on the machine to go through. And then I'm gonna press down right in the middle, like that, to hold them all in. And then I'm just gonna crank the handle. And there it goes. It's gonna go through just like that. It's gonna come out on the other side, and I'm gonna try to bring it over this way without messing anything up, so you guys can see it come out. It does pop and crackle and make all kinds of noise, but it's fine. It's supposed to do that. That's normal. And we'll set her aside for a second, because we do have to do the cocktail, but I want you to see how these all came out. And there's our cookies. See, there's the, you could use that as a stencil if you wanted to, or just throw it away. But there is the coffee cup, the chocolate, and the cookie all cut out. And you didn't have to fussy cut anything, which is really nice. Fussy cutting is okay, but it's very time consuming. I did that with the Penguin Place paper that was in the celebration brochure. I fussy cut out the bear, the fox, the penguin, and the snowman, and it took me forever because there's no matching dies. So I had to hand cut everything out, and it took forever. It was awful. Cute in the end, but awful. So we're going to do the same thing with the cocktail glass here. We're going to run it through, stagger them out after you make your sandwich, pull that little thing through. And in the catalog with the dies, if it's coordinated, you know, if you can use it with the mini machine, it actually has a little symbol that says mini. So you know, that's really loud, sorry. You know that it can be used on that. And if it doesn't have that little symbol, then it's too big and you can't do that. So it's nice that they tell us. Again, a nice little stencil if you want. Just set that aside. Set that over there. Get this out of our way. All right. I believe now we are ready to assemble. I'm going to throw these back in here because I will lose them. I'm known to have dies go MIA on me because I don't put them back. I usually have little magnets for them, but I haven't gotten that far yet. And the organizing, because I don't have time to organize. My life is crazy. There's no time for that. We're going to go ahead and set the stamp set in there too, because we are actually done with the stamp set. So we'll set that back there. We are ready to assemble this card. See, so far it's not so bad, is it? It's, like I said, a lot of moving pieces. But in the end, it's really not that hard. So we'll get all our pieces together here. We have our inside, our base is right here. And this will be our second layer, and then these are all our little added decorations. So what we're gonna start with is we're actually gonna form the square. So you need the 3 square pieces of the early espresso, the crumb cake, and the very vanilla. And I think you're actually supposed to have a third one of these, but oh well. I'll show you a little trick with that too if I need to. We're just gonna roll with it because I don't seem to have one. It's okay. It's fine. It's all fine. And we're gonna take our adhesive. We're gonna run it a little bit in the back of our sentiment with our hard colored, images, because I just totally went brain dead. Cookie, coffee cup, chocolate, cocktail. There we go. And we're gonna center that on the crumb cake, and then we're gonna turn that over, and we're gonna do the same thing. And we're gonna center that on the early espresso, just like that. Now, if you wanted to leave it like that, you could, or you can take like the Knighted Navy or even the early espresso Stampin' Write marker, and you could run it around the edge to make it darker so it pops off like this one did here. I don't have that marker with me, otherwise I'd show you. But we're gonna leave it like that because I like it like that. It's fine. Okay, so next we're gonna take our 2 strips of crumb cake and early espresso, and just like we did before, we're gonna apply to the back. I have no idea why I'm always flipping over a blank piece of paper, because they're blank on both sides, but yet there's one side that's right and wrong, I guess. I don't know. You're gonna center that to your early espresso, just like so. Oops. Well, it's gonna be crooked, but oh well. It's fine. Now we got all our different little pieces here, all ready to go. And don't forget these little guys, don't lose them. You're gonna need them. So we're going to, let's do the inside first, so we can get that done and out of our way. You wanna flip that over in each of your 4 corners with the adhesive in the center, because I'm weird. Added measure. Just, you wanna make sure it's secure. I really don't know why I do that. I have always done that in the, I've been stamping for what, 20 years, and I've always done that. I don't know. It's strange, but it happens. Now we're gonna take our sayings one that we stamped at an angle there. We're gonna flip that over. Place all 4 corners again. And I know some people that they go all the way around, all 4 sides with this to strip it on. That's fine. You can do that. I think it's a waste of tape. I do it with my glue. I make sure I go edge to edge, but otherwise with the tape, it's not a big deal. This tape is good tape. It seals it real nice. So there's that on your card base centered. You should have, I'm not even gonna try to guess, I'm gonna say probably a 1/16 of an inch border around it. And now you're gonna take this one, the strip, and you're gonna, again, each side, each end, one down in the middle just for good luck, and you want to center that on the left side with leaving just a slight edge so you can see the underside, but you don't want it to be, I wouldn't say any more than 1/8 of an inch. Maybe even a 1/16, something like that. Just a tiny bit, just so you can see it. Press that down on there so it's real good and tight. And then take your square, flip it over. I'm just gonna run down both sides here just because it's small enough. Oh, gee, many Christmas. That must be almost out. It's the only time it's, there we go. It likes to be a pain right before it runs out of ink, or run out of tape ink. I'm okay, I promise. And we're gonna center that so it's, you want even border on the left side, the top, and the right side. You don't want to necessarily bring it all the way to the top. You want to offset it a little bit so it's kind of stair-step down, just like that, because you want to be able to read what it says. So you don't want to hide that. Now, these little guys, we're going to turn them all over so they're facing down, and then we're going to take our foam, our Stampin' Dimensionals. Usually I have my take your pick, and I don't have it on me, which is weird. And you're going to place 1 or 2, whatever you're comfortable with, on each one of these. You would be okay with just 1 on each. I know some people like to do all 4 sides like they would the tape. I don't think it's necessary. There, just like that. Now, we're gonna come over here and we are gonna start, we're gonna go dangerous and start at the top and peel the backing off of those. And you're gonna place that at the top, press down, and you can see where it has, you know, you can see the gap right here all the way around it. I hope you guys can see that, but it sticks up. And that's the point in the dimensional, is to just make it pop just a little bit. And if you need more height, you can add 2. You know, you can stack them so they heighten out. And I hear someone hollering for me, but we're gonna finish this card out because we are almost done, I promise. You kind of want to angle them out so they don't look straight. It's okay to go over, like here, see I just did that on the stem is going over on the other pieces. That's fine. It just, cohesiveness, it's fine. And same with the chocolate, it's probably gonna do the same thing. Yep, it's gonna go over, and that is absolutely fine. Just like that. And we are all done. So there's my original. Again, no 2 are alike, as you can see, because they're all very much different. And we have now made 4 cards with the Nothing Better Than stamp set. And your 4 cards are that one, the 3rd one that we did, the 1st one, and the 2nd one. Or yeah, the 2nd one. I can't count, it's fine. So there's what we did. That's all we made. If you guys would like to purchase this set or any of the items that are there, you can visit my website at mickyweinrenner.stampinup.net to purchase those items. All the information, including order or item number, are in that tutorial that you can print. If you're having trouble downloading it, let me know and I can definitely send it to you privately so you have it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And don't forget, any comments, your names will be put into a drawing for a special package of the Penguin Place with paper and cards, coordinating cards. So, and don't forget to check out the Paper Pumpkin Kit for October and November. You can either subscribe or